live. Ladies and gentlemen, the boys have found themselves stepping into a whole new world once again. And this is what I love about this podcast, Tom. I think you can agree with me too. We can venture out anywhere when we hear about people from the North doing amazing things. So today, the boys step in front of the bright lights in the acting world, baby. This person from Sudbury, Ontario, has been killing it lately as his talents landed him the chance to play Jordan in the Netflix hit Ginny and Georgia. Also a St. Charles alumni. I got to plug that in for Tom. We are so excited to bring on Behind the Bench podcast, Colton Gobbo. How you doing, buddy?
I'm not doing too. Man, the Felinos weren't kidding. These intros are really on the ball, eh?
That's right, man. That's right, man.
Hey, you went to school with me. You know I can't read. That's why we get Alex to do it. He's
That's
used
right.
to be the trustee. All the big guests, we make sure that the person on the podcast that can read does the intros. So.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, thanks for having me on, boys. It's so exciting to be here.
Awesome, man.
Love
Awesome. We're excited that and again, thanks for coming on. We're really excited to get this going. So what are you up to right now? Well, it's been a while since we've all chatted. So what are you up to?
I'm in school right now. I'm going to. It's the George Brown Theatre School down here in Toronto. It's a conservatory theater program, and actually, we're right in the middle of a show. So if I pan you a bit left, you'll see the massive green screen we got set up. Yeah. So that's kind of been what's been going on. It's my first time doing Zoom theater, and it's a whole new ball game there. That's been keeping me busy. That's really it, man.
Cool, man.
The Zoom interview or the Zoom playing, Alex, you actually had the Italian play through Zoom, so you can relate a little bit more.
Fellow actor, no, I'm nothing close to Colton, but yeah, I've had my share in filming, but nothing close to
I know.
I do like doing the plays though. Like I said, we can chat about that too. I do like being live in front of the people, but yeah, that's cool. What's the Zoom like? Like, is it a play kind of deal going live on Zoom? Yeah.
Yeah. It's The Three Sisters by Chekhov, some old fashioned theater. Yeah, and that's about it. But one kind of jarring thing is that it's not in person. So when we're doing this show, we're looking away and kind of setting people up, but we're not really talking to anyone ever.
Jeez,
so
that's wild.
It goes to show the whole pandemic, man. It you feel it all the way through.
No kidding. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get right into it, Tom.
Yeah.
Let's start
Okay.
off.
How did you get started in acting, Colton, and what made you stick with it?
Oh man, when I was about 9, I think it was, I did my first theater performance, and it was with Yes Theater with Alessandro Costantini.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And from there, I stuck in theater a bit in Sudbury, doing community theater, Theater Cambrian back in the day. And then Alessandro actually introduced me to an agent down here in Toronto. And so I came down, I auditioned for her, and all of a sudden was making the switch into film and TV.
Cool, man.
Love it. And we have to plug in St. Charles because obviously I had the opportunity to go to school with you at SCC. How was your 4 years there, and did you enjoy your time there? I know you did, but let's talk a little bit about the SCC days.
Oh, of course, SCC was a riot, man. Oh, it was so much fun, and even catching up now and seeing you here, Tommy. I'm taken back to business classes, Malafrina.
Oh yeah, Mal, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Nothing but a positive experience there, and especially when it came to working down here and coming down for auditions and for shooting.
Right.
Everyone was super understanding, so I'm still really. And a great experience.
For sure.
Awesome,
Who would you say teacher-wise helped you the most during your time at SEC to shape to the person you are today?
Oh man,
put him right on the spot right there.
I know.
You gotta put me on the spot here, eh? How many teachers are gonna be watching this? I gotta say, Mr. Kingshot, man. Mr. Kingshot was just man. He kept me humble, to say the least. He definitely knocked me down a few pegs when it was necessary. But truthfully, everyone, all the people in the theater department, Miss Thompson, Mr. Moore, just everyone involved, everyone in the shows, all that fun stuff. It was a great experience.
Oh, sure.
Seriously, I'm lucky to have gone to high school there.
Yeah. Awesome, dude.
That's why we actually have the better high school in the podcast because I know Mason, our producer, who just joined the building, is a Lockerbie grad, and Chim went to St. Ben. So it's 2-0 St. Charles right now. So
Yeah.
Outnumbered, baby. Let's go.
Colton, what would you say your favorite play at SEC was for you?
Oh, Greece. Definitely
Oh, yeah.
Greece. That was a blast. Especially, what was it? I think that was grade 11. So it was kind of, we had all hit the groove. We had done a couple shows by that point, and that was also the first time I got to direct something.
Cool.
Not to mention, yeah, it was just fun. Like, it was
Yeah.
just fun, man.
So I hear it's like when SEC goes into play mode, like it's wild there. Like I've heard it's just like full
No
on,
more
all
gym
hands on,
classes.
all
Yeah,
hands
like-
on deck.
No
It's
more-
like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we're getting ready for the play. It's a good production, man. It's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Man,
So
yeah, it's sorry.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's a shame with everything happening that the years below us didn't really get a chance to wrap it up. But
Yeah, no doubt.
yeah.
Hope for the best. We'd love to see that again, and love to go watch a play there again. Colton, what for you like was the moment where you decided like, okay, like I kind of like this acting thing, like I want to roll with it, like you said, go get an agent, now start studying it. Like what was the moment for you where you're like, okay, I want to roll with this?
That's a good question. Yeah, out of the gates, eh?
That's right.
Man, honestly, I think it was the first time that I went down and actually like met with an agent and kind of had the realization that it was a real career and there were people who were thriving in it. Because all throughout kind of elementary school and high school when I had started, it was always a side thing. And my idea for after high school was like, I'll go into something generic, just get a degree or something. But it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do anything else. Like this is what I love. This is what I love to do. I'm happiest when I'm doing it. So balls to the wall.
Yeah, man, good. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome, man. It's so cool. Like, well, what you're doing is unreal. And did you ever think like, obviously, Ginny and Georgia's kind of really, got you going a lot more. But like, did you ever think you'd become this well known, or being a kid from Sudbury? Like, what was your like expectations going into this thing?
Oh man, my expectation the whole time was just kind of hope for the best. I had no idea, especially Ginny and Georgia. Coming out, and I was doing little things here and there, a couple one-liners. There were some cool shows I got to work on, but it was really only for a day or two for most of the time. Yeah, so getting onto the bigger productions and kind of seeing the bigger teams and starting to work with people who I had watched either growing up or who I had respected was just a very surreal thing to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, dude.
Run us through like I'm not gonna say a typical day of like the whole filming industry, but that must be time consuming, like long nights, early mornings.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, so long, and people don't really know that like when you're shooting a scene, the directors and the creators are thinking of every possible angle for this thing. They're thinking of where to shoot, how to shoot it, working with like the daylight, how they need to set it up. And it's insane, the amount of work. I know that once I started kind of getting into it and working on more projects, that something that changed for me was after watching a movie or a series, I started watching the credits at the end because it doesn't really click how many pieces there are to this machine.
All right.
So it's really cool to see, and you start working on it, and you see these big departments. Usually you think it's one guy behind a camera, but there's the guy behind the camera, the guy taking charge of the lenses, the guy's moving it around. And it's just... It's crazy. It's a machine, man.
No kidding.
Jesus. Moving away a little bit from the filming industry, because when I used to go to high school with you, I knew you did this, but like from the resume you sent us, I was like, Jesus, it's actually true. You have a first degree black belt in martial arts. When did you start getting into this?
do.
And are you still doing it now?
Yeah. I started, I think I was 4 or 5, very, very young, like around the same time I had started school. And that was something I was training consistently all throughout school in Sudbury. And I ended up getting my first degree in a style of karate called Goju-Ryu. And that is such a massive part of my life, and just like the discipline of it, the training
Right.
of it, even just the physical activity itself, it shaped me into who I am. Absolutely, I credit a huge part to that. It's definitely tougher now. I try my best to zoom into a couple classes from Suds, but with school and with everything going on, it's a lot more on me and personal training time.
Right. Right. No, I just didn't know you're still doing it. That's actually wicked because um,
Thank you.
you don't really hear much people from Sudbury doing this. Like you obviously have the typical hockey, soccer, whatever, but we actually had the opportunity to play soccer together as well, Colton. And we have to plug this in because we
Yes,
had a
sir.
wicked time. We went to North Bay, right? And we ended up
Yeah, yeah,
losing.
yeah.
We ended up losing in the semis to a North Bay team, but we were underdogs with Mr. Pastry. What do you remember most about the whole soccer days? Because you ended up playing some sports through your St. Charles days too.
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I think of Pastry screaming from the bench. That's the thing that sticks out. The big dog. Man, that was such a fun time. Even through practices, the team that we had and the guys that we were playing with, man, it was fun. And I've never been the best player by any means. So to be out there and just to get to play and to be part of that, yeah, and man, I'm just honestly the thing that sticks out most is the big dog screaming from the bench, telling you to run harder.
Big dog. Jim, do you know who
Oh, that's
Pastry
cool.
is? Do you know who that is, Jim?
No. I
Oh,
bet you if I saw him, I'd know him. But
he's a crazy soccer guy at St. Charles. So
that's unreal.
Yeah, shout out to Pastry.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's talk about Ginny in Georgia. Okay, how did you get your role there? And then did you think it would blow up like it did? Because it's a hit on Netflix. People love it. So yeah, let it fly.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if you guys have checked it out, but there's a character named Marcus, and he's played by this actor named Felix Millard,
Mm-hmm.
and incredible. But originally, I had auditioned for Marcus, so I'd sent in a tape, and we're working with that, and then nothing really came of it. A couple weeks went by, and then I got another email, and it said, "Hey, they want you in for Jordan." So I went in, I did it. Whatever happened, and then there were callbacks a couple weeks later, and I got called in for those, and I went, and actually in the waiting room, and it's so strange to be in an audition room because everyone is trying to be nice and kind, but at the
Right.
same time, you're all going for the same thing. You know, one
Exactly.
of you are going
Yeah.
to book this
Yeah.
job. Yeah. So I had met Damian Romeo, and he plays Matt Press on the show. And I never really did it, but for some reason we just struck up a conversation and we started talking and we were like, let's keep in touch if you hear anything. And we both ended up booking roles on the show. So
Wow.
yeah. After that callback, it was a couple weeks later. I was actually in an Uber to another audition when I got the email, and they were like, "Hey, you got it, congrats!" And that was just it was immense. It was such a great feeling. But the thing is, yeah, I had no idea it would be as big as it did. Man, we passed Tiger King. We were the #1 show on Netflix, and
Yeah.
we had more streaming minutes than fucking WandaVision.
Yeah,
Which
it's crazy. It's crazy.
it's crazy,
Mind
man.
blowing.
It blows
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but working on it, this I have to say it was the best set I've ever worked on, and the best
Mhm.
creative team and the best cast. There was absolutely no negativity all the way through, and everyone was so open, and it was so collaborative and so comfortable. So it was a different feeling, and we had all kind of agreed like there's something special about this. But
Mhm.
I'd like to say we expected it to be this big, but this just defied expectations.
For sure.
And
For sure.
it's incredible.
Right. And where were you guys shooting? Was it because I read up a little bit on it. I'm through the first episode right now. But it's set up in Canada. It's Canada, right? It was it shot in Toronto?
It was It was shot all in Toronto. Yeah, the show
Crazy.
itself takes place in the States,
Right.
but all around Toronto,
That's so
studios in
cool.
Toronto. Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was crazy. We had a couple. Well, Felix is Australian, so he came
Hmm.
down. Antonia, who plays Ginny,
Hmm.
she's from Atlanta.
Hmm.
So everyone was just coming to Toronto to film this, which was crazy because
So cool, dude.
it's Toronto.
Yeah, man. That's so cool, dude. And yeah, like that's unbelievable. How well the show is done. Like, um, if I didn't read up that it was in Toronto, like I would have never known that it was all filmed in Toronto. But it's cool to know that it's done on Canadian soil, which is wicked. So for you, like when you're memorizing lines, this is the big one. Like people always have trouble memorizing lines. Like what's your go-to? How do you memorize your lines?
uh, Everyone's got their own way. Some
Yeah.
people like to just write them down. And a couple things that we've learned in school. There are a lot of exercises that people like to do. But for me, it's just kind of reading them, getting an understanding of them, and the way that I get them into my body and into my head is walking around the house and doing all kinds of stuff and just kind of saying them like a crazy
Yeah.
person over and over and over.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
awesome.
the next question I have for you is obviously going back to Ginny and Georgia a bit, and we talked a little bit before we started recording, is that your Instagram game is popping off. So talk about like the whole social media part of it, and you getting like, I don't know, 1,000 followers a week, like minimum. Like your phone must be going nuts.
It oh yeah it I don't even know where to start with this, man. It's been insane. When the well so originally we had shot the show in 2019, August to December,
Gotcha.
and we had heard a bunch of release dates throughout 2020, and it didn't end of this year it was released. And so the whole time I was kind of like, all right, maybe I'll get a couple thousand followers, hopefully, like, fingers crossed, maybe I'll hit 10K. That'd be dope. And then it came out, and all of a sudden the floodgates were open.
Yeah.
And it was insane. Like, just every time I open my phone, I've turned off notifications for Instagram. uh and one of the funniest things, just a little story here. We get a lot of DMs. A lot of people on the show are getting DMs, just fans talking about stuff. But the craziest one that I got was from my neighbor, who I had no idea was my neighbor. So I was in our alleyway recording an Instagram video, just being like, thank you so much. Like, and that's one thing. The support has been insane, and I'm so thankful and so grateful.
Yeah.
So I was just recording a little thank you, and then I walk inside and I open my Instagram and I get a DM, and it was from my neighbor, and she said, "Hey, this is gonna be awkward, but I heard you recording this in the alleyway." And I was like, "Oh, damn, okay." uh,
Pardon me. Like
Yeah.
you watching
never met this person before, and she was like, "Yeah, no, I heard you recording it." I said, "Oh shit, I better be careful with what I'm saying." Yeah. So Instagram has just it's been crazy.
Yeah.
I have no other word for it. Surreal, insane, all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Unreal, dude. Unreal. Now you just need the blue check mark. Well, that we're on the road to the blue check right now, getting
Blue
you verified.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Love
We're
it, dude.
working on it, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what was a normal day on set for Ginny and Georgia like? Like, what were the hours like? How long did it take you to shoot all that kind of stuff?
Uh, yeah, absolutely. So going in, usually call times were usually in the morning, so we'd probably get there on a normal day 7 or 8. And all the cast has their trailer set up, so you kind of head over to your trailer. They have all your sides for you, all the stuff that you're shooting that day. Eventually, they'll come and they'll bring your costume. They have one of the best parts, the craft truck. So there's people constantly just handing out food, knocking on your door, asking you hungry. I can make you something. It's like you're always in Nana's kitchen. Like
I love it,
whatever
man.
you want,
That's
they'll make
awesome,
it, man. Yeah. So you hit the trailer, you get your costume on, and then when it's time to get going, someone will bring you over to set. You'll meet with the director, with the other people you're shooting with. Usually you'll block out whatever you're working on that day, so they'll tell you where to stand, kind of the idea of the shot. And then it's a lot of waiting. like the phrase "hurry up and wait" is just the epitome of this industry.
Gotcha.
It's rushing you to set, rushing through the stuff, and then sending you over to the green room and sitting there for hours. And then they'll bring you over, you'll shoot for an hour, and then back to the green room for a couple of them. And yeah. So we were lucky because the entire cast got so close so quickly, and we're still such good friends. So majority of that time was us just hanging out, talking, thinking of new stuff for the show.
All right.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, man, and you know what? You teed it up perfectly. Like I was gonna ask you, like, how close did you guys get? And obviously, you guys still keep in touch. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking consistently, especially when it came out. And there were a few of us who hadn't really done a project this size before, so we were kind of reaching out and being like, "How the hell do I sift through thousands of followers? Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I not post? What's the deal?"
Yeah.
So again, just incredibly grateful for all the people I got to work with. Like, it was such a great community.
Yeah, man.
Is there any I don't really want to, like, I feel bad for asking this, but is there any like toxic DMs, Colton, that you get from like nasty fans that you have no idea who they are? Because I feel like once you get to this stage of, you know, you being so popular now, you must get some stupid DMs from random accounts.
There's some wacky ones, dude. Yeah. But I don't know if you guys were keeping up, but the whole controversy with Taylor Swift.
We saw the tweet. I have the tweet actually up here. It's crazy that she's coming after you guys.
She went. You can't even imagine me rolling over in bed and checking my phone and someone shooting me a text and saying, "Hey, Taylor Swift just called us out on Twitter."
Pardon me.
What? Yeah. So a lot of angry Swifties in the DMs. Absolutely. That was probably the most toxic that we got. But overall, a lot of support. So much support from all over the world, man. It's crazy. The Brazilian audiences, the Italian audiences.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Alex, I have another question for him before you take over. But if Colton, if I was in, because I like to put myself in like the guest shoes, and if I was like in your shoes, I would definitely have a mental breakdown when I can't remember a line. And Mason and Alex know I can't read very well. So have you ever had like a mental breakdown when you just couldn't figure out how to word this, I don't know, line, or, you know, you just like had to go outside and get a little fresh air? Like, have you ever had that in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely times like that where you just can't get it down. And a lot of the time, if you're shooting something and the creative team is like, these are important lines, they'll be a lot more strict on it, because working on kind of contemporary stuff, and especially the stuff on the show, it was mostly just us partying, being teenagers. We did have a lot of freedom. We got to just hang out, talk, like make our own dialogue. But when you're delivering important stuff and you finish a take, and then from like 100 feet away, you hear someone yell out the line that you were supposed to say. They're like, "Hey, the line was actually this." You're like, "Oh, fuck, right, yes." And then you run it back. And yeah, it's a weird thing. I will say that you're like, "Yeah, okay, I feel good about that. That was a good scene." And then all of a sudden you hear, "No, you messed up this line entirely." You're like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Running back. Oh my god, that's great. And
caffeine,
was there any?
Man. A lot of
No
caffeine.
kidding. Was there any freedom into like ad libbing? Like, if you thought you can like make a line funnier, like enhance it a little bit, like you're like, I know I can get people like cracking up, or if I say this, was there freedom around that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole team, yeah, we got to play around so much, because again, it was just us hanging out and doing kind of wacky things. So when you're doing 50 takes of a scene, there are obviously going to be some times where you're like, let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And the whole team was really, really cool for that. They just let us play a lot.
Cool, dude. I love it, man. I love it all. And where was my next question? Yes, here we go. So your character, Jordan. So kind of explain like who he is and how he would be like in normal setting. Like if he was hanging out with us one day, like how would that guy be compared to you?
He's a cool dude, man.
I love
I
it.
might be a bit biased, but he's cool. He's cool. He's a lot of fun, man. He's he loves to party, and he's a very, very positive dude. And he's really kind of carefree, happy-go-lucky, which honestly, this character was shaped so much around like me walking into it and seeing the mood board that they had set up and just kind of like the outfits that they had planned. I was like, oh shit, this is my closet. Like, you have my closet on a picture here. So he loves his friends, and he really likes to have fun. So it was really exciting to go in every day and just get to be all smiley and happy and just kind of mess around.
Basically yourself, man. That's unreal. Unreal,
man.
Dude.
It started blending together, I'll tell you.
I love it. So kind of moving away from Ginny and Georgia, obviously you mentioned a little bit about Zoom plays and that kind of stuff with the pandemic. Like, how has this changed the whole process of like doing meetings and that kind of stuff? And how's that changed everything for you?
Oh, it's a whole new ball game now. I got to work on a project at the end of last year. It was around September, October, and we were shooting up in North Bay. So we were in the heat of COVID. And when you're working there, it's crazy. Everyone's wearing masks. Everyone's distanced. Like, when we were filming Ginny in Georgia, we had 100 people in a room.
Yeah.
The sound people, the lighting people. But now it's so limited and so few people. But the actors were getting COVID tested 3 times a week, just to make sure that we were safe. We were quarantining. We were doing all this kind of stuff. So one thing one thing out of many that really sucks about it is that you kind of lose that feeling of everyone being together and having this big project together. Very, very different, because then of course you get into a scene with someone and they're like, okay, you can take your masks off, and you're like, oh shit, right. Like,
right. Yeah.
I see you. Yeah. So it was just different. It took a little bit of getting used to.
No shit. No kidding. What would you say the difference, Colton, between acting in a play versus like filming a show is, and which one would you prefer?
Ooh, tough question.
That was Alex's. I just took it. Thanks.
Man, right now I have to say film and TV is just where I'm finding a lot more fun and a lot more excitement. Which I love theater, and it has a very, very special place in my heart, and I'm going to continue doing both, absolutely.
Yeah.
But film and TV is just, it's crazy. There's nothing like it. But the difference in theater, you have to act so much more, and you have to like be super visible with your expressions and be like, what did you say? And
Right.
But in film, you get to kind of bring that in a lot more, and especially one thing that sticks out is like your eyes. When you're in a show and you're doing theater, no one is really looking at your eyes, but in film and TV, when you got a close up like this, that's all they're looking at. It's a lot of kind of bringing all that stuff in and being able to show it through more than just bigger movements and bigger expressions.
Interesting, man. Interesting. I like that take. Like, would you say there's less pressure filming? Because I guess in a play, like, not trying to compare or anything, but I remember when I was doing a play, like, if you like mess up a line, like it could be detrimental to the whole like scene. Like, you got to be careful. Like, I used to love ad-libbing. It drove my director nuts. Like, because she'd be running through like feeding lines, or someone would mess up, and I'd be like ad-libbing, and she hated that. But like, would you say there's more pressure being in a play instead of filming?
Yeah, in that sense, as far as the lines go, there's a lot more pressure, because a play, you're going all the way through.
You're live.
You're barreling. You're live.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Which I guess is another thing to take into account, is that being live and being in front of people is so much different than talking to a camera or talking to another person with a bunch of people around you. But yeah, when you mess up a line when you're filming, either you can play it off, or someone can yell cut, and then you just go back and run it back. But in theater, you don't you
No.
don't have that. You don't get to do that.
That's crazy. It is, yeah. Awesome, dude. Okay, next question is what's next for you, upon graduating? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? And will there be a Ginny and Georgia #2? I saw a story on your Insta saying we got to push for it. We need a season 2. So what's kind of going on with that? And then also personally for yourself, where do you see yourself in, let's say, next 10 years?
Yeah. For season 2, it's all on the audience and on the fans and how much it's getting streamed. So I never want to, with all the success that it had, there's still a possibility that it doesn't. Like, nothing is ever assured, especially with Netflix. So really, that thing to get out there and just say, keep watching, please. If you love it, just keep it on repeat. You don't even have to watch, just play it all the way through. But yeah. Fingers crossed for season 2. That's all we can say. Knocking on as much wood as we can, and kind of just playing it by ear as far as that goes.
I'd imagine there's got to be season 2 of how well it's doing. Like that, I'd be shocked if there wasn't. It'd be,
man. I've got my desk here. I'm knocking on it. You got me knocking here.
Let's hope.
Yeah. And it would be so incredible to get back to it. And yeah. Again, with the community and the relationships that we've built, it's all we can do is hope. I've got everything crossed time. I can.
Yeah.
As for me though, the next 5 and 10 years, as an actor, you kind of got to learn to just go with the flow a lot more than anything, as stressful as that sounds.
Yeah, man.
But once I'm out of school, I'm gonna stick around Toronto here. During school, I have myself booked off for auditions and that kind of stuff, so I can focus on school. So once it's all wrapped up, I gonna be
start looking for work,
man. Yeah. No school, no nothing. You're on your own now. But that's the plan. Just audition as much as I can and do whatever comes.
Cool, dude. I like it. Have you ever filmed in Sudbury? Like, I know there's some like filming going on here. But yeah, have you filmed at all here?
Yeah. Actually, filming in Sudbury has taken off crazy the last couple of years. There's been so much more coming down there. So many celebrities popping down and studios popping up. But actually, I shot in Sudbury a few years ago on a project called For Love and Honor, and it was like a classic Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But we shot, we shot all around North Bay, and then we were rehearsing in Sudbury. We shot around Sudbury a bit at Bell Park, actually, which was cool. Crazy.
That's wicked.
Yeah. But I'm hoping, man. I'm seeing on auditions and on breakdowns more and more things are shooting up there. So it'd be great to book something up there, you know?
Well, big time. Hey, if Ginny and Georgia needs like a Christmas scene or anything like that, you know where to send them. Maybe we get them on set here, eh? You never know if you got any pull.
Yeah. If we need any podcasts on Ginny and Georgia behind the bench, boys, you're in.
We appreciate that. We can be the school's podcast. I like it.
We appreciate the plug too from Mr. Colton Gobbo. Jesus.
Yeah, I love it. We love it.
Hey, it's I can't thank you guys enough for having me on, man. This is awesome just to see you and to catch up.
And you know what? That's the other question. Like, have you been involved with media a lot? Like, have people been reaching out to you? Like, I don't know. I haven't seen like too much on our end, but I could just totally be missing the boat. So,
yeah. A lot of people, man, people sending messages and people sending their support and talking about how much they love the show. And people that like I went to elementary school with and I haven't seen in years. It's been crazy, and I can't say it enough, man. I'm so grateful for everyone sending their well wishes and for saying all this shit. And it's so that sounded all this shit. That sounded a lot. I meant it to me.
I get it.
No, we get the point though. Absolutely. If they can't tell by the passion in your voice, then they're totally missing it. For
thank
sure.
you, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, you're doing great things. Like I said before, like I remember, like, Tom went to school with you. I've known you forever. Like seeing, someone. I honestly, I remember checking like Like I'd see a post one day, and let's say it was a few years ago before Ginny in Georgia, you're at like, let's say 2,000 followers. I don't even know, but I'm like, yeah, like he's doing good stuff. And then I go and I hear about Ginny in Georgia. Next thing you know, I go check your Instagrams. You have 50K on Instagram. It's unbelievable. It's so good to see. It's awesome.
And he follows one of us, and he follows
Yeah,
us. So.
it's unreal. And honestly, I told the boys, I said, listen, I said, you may not, I know Tom knew, but me, so I'm like, you might not know Colton Gobbo. I knew Tom did, but I said, I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he wants to come on, because he's doing good things. Like he's going to the moon on Instagram, and Ginny in Georgia, all that. So I'm like, reach out to him. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know you have so many DMs, followers. I didn't know if I'd get a shout back, and you answered me within the day. It was awesome. So that meant a lot to come on the pod.
Of course,
it was unreal.
Man, well, the same goes for you guys. I've been keeping up with Behind the Bench since you were kicking it off, and
awesome.
It's so incredible. All the stuff that you're doing, all the guests that you're having on, and the people that you're talking to. It's gnarly. So I got that message, and I was a little starstruck. You know,
I love it. I love
it. Behind the bench, me. What?
Mace, we gotta quote that. It's gnarly. Behind the bench is gnarly. Okay? Quote that. Okay. Okay.
On the T-shirt. Yeah.
Yes. Start the merch. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Tom.
I have one more, and just from you having you on Zoom here, Colton, I can tell that you have incredible hair. And actually, Mason put this question in, and we have to ask you about your hair. Is it hard to maintain the hair? Like, do you use gel? Like, how often do you wash your hair?
What's your product? Yeah.
Like, our listeners will start like doing like what you do for your hair.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm flattered. Look at oh my god. Oh, look at I'm stroking it now. Well, thank you first and foremost. Thanks, guys. That's a lot. Yeah. Well, the long hair is kind of a new thing in the last couple of years. To grow it out long, and the process, conditioning. That's a big one. You know, you got to hop on the conditioning train. Not something I did before. I will admit. I don't even know what to say about it, guys. Like, you
need to get a sponsor, man.
No, someone. I'm not getting Dollar Shave Club anytime soon, so some kind of hair product.
Head and Shoulders. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Head and Shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. One question we ask all our guests. Mason always puts it in. He wants us to ask. We missed it on one of them when he wasn't around, so we have to ask it. And it's totally unrelated to everything that we've talked about. But I don't know. You're from Sudbury. First question is, have you gone to a Sudbury Wolves game before?
Of course.
Of course. Right? Of course. We got it. Obviously, from Sudbury, you go to Sudbury Wolves game. Okay.
Oh, I think I know what's coming up. I think I know exactly what's coming up here.
If the arena moves or whatever happens to it, does the Wolf stay? Does the Wolf stay?
Absolutely. Like, hands down, it would be blasphemy to take that Wolf down, man. That is, I don't know about you guys, but like elementary school, grade 7, 8, going out to a Wolves game with your friends, huge event. And
it was a huge event, yeah.
It was massive, man. And seeing people like from other schools, and at that point, we didn't all have like cell phones. We weren't on the online world quite yet. So going to the games and socializing, and then seeing the Wolves score and watching that Wolf get pulled out, it's a highlight, baby. It's gotta stay. It's gotta stay. Someone get me a petition. I'll sign it.
Yes, that's what we're. Mace, you started a movement, buddy. You started a movement. I love it. All right, we'll move on to the Fast Five. Tommy, take it over. Our rapid fire question segment we got here.
Okay.
So again, 5 questions. Top of your head, let it rip.
Okay, here we go, Colton. First one. Favorite high school teacher?
King Shot.
Okay, perfect. Favorite actor?
Oh man. Donald Glover.
Okay. Favorite song?
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Otis Redding. I'm getting slow here. I'll pick it up.
No, you're good. We've had guests that have been like really long, so don't worry about it. Favorite show / play you've been a part of? I think we know the answer to that, but
I think Greece for play.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Like it.
Okay.
Film and TV, Ginny and Georgia.
Okay. There it is. There it is.
Make sure
I sounded stupid saying that before I asked it. But last but not least, we ask everybody this: favorite Sudbury restaurant.
Oh, Kuzina.
Ah, the
P&M's.
P&Ms.
P&M's has been
P&Ms.
taking over this segment, man.
No free ads, man.
We actually
Jesus.
have to reach out to them. This is getting ridiculous.
Top of
Like
the head,
90
man. Look at that. New Suds? Of course you gotta say P&M's.
I love it, dude. I love it. Awesome. Okay, well, that's gonna wrap it up. Colton, thank you so much for coming on. This has been hilarious. It's been a fun interview. And we're excited to do this. Obviously, you see you're doing great things. So it's awesome for you to come on, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, I appreciate you boys for having me on. I can't thank you enough. And congrats on season 3. Here we are.
That's right, baby.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah, and maybe we'll have a reunion episode. Who knows?
For sure.
Absolutely. Actually, Mason just texted saying we need to get him back on, and we will. Whatever. If there's something new going on, we'll make sure. And maybe we'll start a content piece where we actually watch the entire show, Ginny and Georgia, and we pick it apart. Maybe a little content piece for that. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been a blast.
All right. Hey, thanks again for having me, boys. It was a pleasure to see you.